Hi folks, welcome back to the Carver's Woodshop. This is Arlene Zomer from Honeybrook, Pennsylvania. I am now going to do a new series, a new project, which is called the Pilgrim, okay? And I have a design that I drew today and cut out today, and here's a pilgrim with a holding on to a pumpkin. So that's going to be my new piece here. So let's get started with this. This guy here is 2 inches wide by 3 inches because we have to worry about the brim of the hat, and it's 4.5 inches long, and the grain is running this way. Okay, you can see the little arrow here. It's running up and down this way. If you don't want to do the pumpkin, you can cut this straight ahead, cut this right off, and you can put a little pocket right there, you know, and put his hands in his pocket if you like. That's up to you. I went ahead and put a line, a center line, all the way around. Remember how to measure. We use our pencil leaning up against it, and we learn where the center point is from that by turning it around to see if it matches. And then you just guide that pencil all the way around using your finger leaning up against the carving. And you go all the way around, and that will be your center point and a reference point to even things up. Now the brim of the hat is going to be kind of big because of it being a hat for a pilgrim. So I was going to do this out of a block of wood, but I felt it might be better to do it this way with just cutting out the profile and taking it from there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of round all this up, and you know, this part is going to have to come out as well. So however deep this is here is how deep this should be. Well, we won't quite go as far as that, but we're going to try to give ourselves some reference points all the way around. Same thing with the pumpkin. We're giving it a reference point. I'm looking how deep it is this way, and I'm calculating where we need to put it. So this is just a guideline. You can see I have a couple of brown spots in this wood, kind of all over the place, and I'm not going to worry about that too much. I didn't see it when I cut it out, but I'm going to work with it anyway instead of throwing it out. So let's get started. What we're going to do is, what you also want to do after you put those reference points on, you want to kind of copy what's on this side, where the hat's going to go here, you know, where the beard and the hairline on the back, you know, is going to be. That might be a little bit deeper. Take that a little further over. Okay, and so those are our reference points. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our knife and we're going to cut underneath the hat here, and we're just going to cut that out. Okay, now you might need a little longer knife, and I might end up using one of my pocket knives. I am telling you, as new carvers, do not use a pocket knife until you're very comfortable with carving. Make sure you have your carving glove on and all the rest. But if you decide you're going to go ahead and use a carving glove, just be very, very careful. I mean, a pocket knife, be very, very careful. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start outlining this. Not that we're going to really cut anything out right now, but that's our reference points, and I don't want to lose that, okay, on both sides. So I just go ahead and put a stop cut, and then when we cut it out, we go back and make the same reference points later on again. Okay, that's how I usually do it. And we're going to cut this out. We're going to switch around quite a bit. We're going to go from one side to the other, so don't let that throw you. I may do some of this offline since it's a little easier for me than trying to work around everything here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start chopping some of this out underneath the brim. And we're going to chop some of this out. A lot of this stuff has to be removed. So there's going to be a lot of cutting, which is fine. And you're just going to take your time with it. You know, if you're a new carver, this might be a little bit of a challenge for you because it's not straightforward with the arms. The arms are going to come out and around a little bit. So what we're doing, we're just trying to shape them up a little bit on all the sides here. And going from one side to the other. Remember, we've got to get it pretty deep to give it some depth. So we're just going to cut some of this out and, you know, work our way around, you know. Bit of a challenge to hold it when it's bigger. You know, if you do a lot of carving, you'll know what I'm talking about that. So we're just going to start shaping them up a little bit. So what I'm going to do offline here, I'm going to try to get this up a little further and underneath this hat. We're going to take a little bit more of each side and we're going to go in probably up to there. Okay, and that's where I'll stop cutting once I get up to that point. Okay, so that's probably the reference points right there. So once I get that all cut out, I'll be back. So on this side and the other on the back, we're just going to cut more of that out. Alright, so I'll be back in a little bit.